Hello everyone, it is I, the Obsessive Gamer. So welcome to another channel update. It's been 2 years since we've done the last one actually, for reasons that I'll get into later on. But yes, so today we're doing this live. The reason being because I want to be able to reflect on some of your questions that are being given live. Maybe also this is going to be unfiltered, meaning anything I say, it's going to be me saying it as it should be. However, we're going to go over just how 2023 went, what's coming up in 2024, and we will be, of course, answering your questions as we go forward here. Now I've got the full chat right in front of me here too, so that we can look them over and answer them as is. Plus, we'll be switching between desktop view and my on-camera self here. So first off, let's just go over 2023 as is first. So 2023 was, I would say, started out rocky, but it grew into a very strong year altogether. After 2022, I would say, was kind of a crash in a way. The reason being the reason for that is we started out trying to do an experiment with something called gaming history on this channel. With gaming history here, it was a series that I wanted to experiment on, which, let's just pull up the actual thing here for it. Where is my playlist for it? So yeah, gaming history. So as you can see, we did quite a bit here for gaming history for the past year. Now this was kind of an experiment I did to go along our more popular cut content series. Kind of a thing on the side, and I wasn't the actual editor for this show. I was actually commissioning other people to do this one. While I think they were well put together ones, they weren't doing so well. And so they went on kind of a hiatus. We went kind of on a hiatus with that show right now to retool and rebuild the gaming history series, since not many people were watching. As you can see, the view counts are not that good for it. Yeah, with some of the best ones maybe being around maybe the 8K mark, while, you know, cut content gets us like 20K of material here. Yeah. So therefore, yeah, I mean, I'm even surprised some of the Zelda ones didn't do as well as they should. So yeah, right now it's on a hiatus. I'm planning to return with gaming history again in 2024 once I retool it. I have a plan of sorts for it, but right now it's on a bit of a hiatus. Now let's talk about the series you're all into, cut content. Which, with cut content, of course, I mean, it was a fantastic year. We went and looked at all the good shit for it. I'm trying to find the playlist for it right now. Bear with me here. Where is my cut content playlist? You know, the big one. Ah, there it is. Okay. Whoops, we're not looking at a video for it. We're looking at the list for it. Here's the problem. We're doing this live, of course. So hiccups like that will happen. So yeah, with cut content, it's as solid as it always was. It definitely, I would say, started off slower in the year because we're trying to mix it up with both gaming history and cut content. But it went kind of slow for a bit there. We definitely hit some of the things we want to hit for a while. We did Metroid Prime 3 cut content. We finally decided to try to tackle some things that weren't Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda by doing stuff like Resident Evil, by doing stuff like Star Fox, and yeah, those were pretty good. Metroid Prime 3 did 11K from what I'm seeing here. Same with Star Fox. The Resident Evil ones around the 5 to 6K mark. I kind of was expecting not to do as well because the audience is pretty Nintendo heavy, first party based. But, I mean, that was just something I really wanted to do at that time. And I do have passion projects like that, but I think we really started to return back to form once we went back to Mario 64, Zelda 64 here. We went to, of course, doing Wind Waker, which I'm happy Wind Waker cut content did well. Of course, we did a whole splash of Pokemon videos too. Of course, Nightwind, I'm seeing in the chat here, is asking me for a Metal Gear cut content video. I would like to do one actually, quite a bit actually. And that's the thing. One thing I want to do in 2024 is try to expand more of the series we cover for cut content. I'd like to go into more other Nintendo series as well. whether it be actually the next video I have right now playing this Pokemon Snap. Of course, we're still in Pokemon here with that, but I'm going to be doing other stuff. Like I have a Donkey Kong 64 cut content video planned to come out in January actually, and I'm going to tackle other series as well throughout other Nintendo series there is. But of course, I also want to go beyond Nintendo in a way as well. Do some Final Fantasy ones, like Final Fantasy 7 cut content, a Metal Gear Solid cut content as well. Give it more variation. But the thing is, I'm also still going to be doing the stuff you all like as well, whether it be Zelda cut content, Mario and Pokemon cut content as well. With, of course, we're doing another Wind Waker, we're doing the next Wind Waker cut content video as well very soon actually. In January, which is going to be the designs of Wind Waker, actually. I'm being asked about Scarlet and Violet cut content, which I do want to do actually I want to do that eventually as well. In fact, my whole goal with Pokemon cut content is to cover every generation eventually. And we have still 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 7 and 9, I guess, to do. We've kind of done we're almost at the halfway mark with what we've covered with Pokemon cut content so far. So Scarlet and Violet would be something. I'm actually currently playing the game. Someone asked me that earlier in the chat if I was playing the Switch games for Pokemon, and I am playing Scarlet and Violet. And I've got a special main series video planned for that. Well, I mean, informative comedy video for that. Which, let's talk about the informative comedy series while we're at it. So another series we decided to go over this year is the informative comedies. What are the informative comedies, you may be asking here? Well, with informative comedies, these were a series of videos that, it's this series of videos here. It's a series of videos that we've been doing that are more, could be about anything. Could be kind of a retrospective, could be just about a topic in gaming, but done in more of a comedic fashion, skit fashion, but it's still very informative, and I'm always on screen for those, usually fully in character and everything. Well, of course, we've done a few this year. We did the wacky critique of Final Fantasy 15, which didn't do that well, but the one that came after it, being the remake of Zelda Ocarina of Time here, did pretty damn well. That was the best one I did. Now this series is in general my most popular, was my original series I did actually on this channel, but decided to go to cut content heavily, and did very well. And that's the thing, some of you are going to be actually not really fans of this style, and that's understandable. You guys might be here for, say, cut content, maybe gaming history, and that's okay. You don't have to watch everything I do. But yeah, there are some who are also a fan of this style of stuff too. Some of these have been new, some of these kind of are revivals, like the Castlevania 101 series here that I've done the past 2 videos, which we just released number 2 of it yesterday, which I highly recommend you can watch, by the way, if you haven't. But with that, we are planning to do more of these as well. Now understand, when they say I'm going to do other series as well, like say gaming history or this informative comedy series, it doesn't impede the development of cut content. Cut content on itself, and I'm switching back to main view by the way, cut content on itself is pretty much a series that gets the most time put into it. I would say 90% of the time on this channel is put into making the cut content videos, because that's the bread and butter of the channel. The stuff you guys like. And I don't plan to ever abandon that, because that's what you guys truly like. Of course, in the end, this is also a passion project, the informative comedy series that I do. It's a little skit series, a bit of anything goes kind of series I like to do here. However, it's only done once in a while, because it requires the most effort to be done with this stuff, because there's a lot of on-screen portions as well, and it has to be scripted very carefully so that things aren't so flat in that series too. So expect more of that to come out as well. I've got one for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that I'm planning to. I'm currently playing the game, so I'm kind of having some ideas around it. I have something special for it in February as well. But majority-wise, it's still going to be, I would say, way more cut content than that. Now, the other thing is, that you might have noticed I've been pumping up more videos lately. And there's a reason for that. It's because I have a bit more time now. Now, I used to do every 2 weeks, maybe 3, or maybe in a month sometimes I used to do. But now I'm trying to aim it at a weekly show, which isn't exactly the easiest thing, but it's not. But I also have more time because I used to do some freelance work in the evenings. But now, after my main full-time job, I come home and I actually have time to do this. So I could spend like 2-3 days of the nights of the week to actually work on the Obsessive Gamer. So I've been able to actually pump out more content this way, and it's worked. It's worked damn well, and pumping the numbers up. We now stand at a nice 29K in subscription cases here. Let me just try to actually go to the let's go to the channel itself and look at my statistics for you. Or actually, can I just view channel stats here? Well, yeah, we kind of view channel stats over here actually. Which, as you can see, we're at 29,015 people as of this video here. So we've done well. We've come up quite a bit compared to where we started earlier in the year. However, I do want to really increase the power of this channel. I want to make this channel grow substantially. I mean, I would love to hit 50K by the end of 2024 if possible. And I'm going to try my damnedest to make that a reality. Let's see where we go. I mean, the more the channel succeeds, the more things I could do. The more I will work harder for you guys to give you guys good content. I like to entertain you guys. I like to talk to you guys. And I like talking to you guys all the time. And yeah, a related question I'm seeing here right now being asked by Goku from the Dragon Ball Z series. Probably not, but anyways, he's asking how long it takes me to make one of these videos, and that's a really good question here. So to make a video in general, it depends on what it is. If it's a cut content video, I can edit. It requires 1 day for scripting at least. If it's a very, very tricky video, it might even take me 2-3 days at tops to make a proper script, because it requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of work to actually get it together. And I use websites, whether it be the cutting room floor, or a certain wiki, go to old interviews, maybe even talk to certain people on Discord who know this stuff as well to get an idea of how to make this material. And yeah, that's basically what it is. But usually a day is enough to make me a normal 15-minute script. Now, a 15-minute video will take me about 2 days to edit. And this means, and this is usually if it's, as long as it's not too crazy, the video. Like if it has a lot of animations like the Metroid Prime 2 video, that one, it will take me longer. But if it's just a simple edit video, yeah, it'll take me only 2 days. Because I've estimated I can do about 8 minutes of the final footage edit a day. So therefore, a 16-minute video theoretically could be done in 2 days. But it's also a case of complexity. Now, if it's a series that's like an informative comedy, that will pretty much take, all depends, because that stuff can be crazy. Because I require an extra night as well to do all my on-screen portions as well. So yeah, oh shit, we got Robotic, Neurotic, Symbolic, who actually paid me $20, yeah, and his message being, Happy New Year's, brother, to you and your family. Can't wait for new content. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And you don't need to pay, but thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, so yeah, and I'm the full editor on this, because in my regular job, I work in the film industry, actually. So I am actually working, and I work in the editing department in post-production. So this is pretty much my day job. I do my day job, and then I come home and do more film work, but on more my own independent stuff, which is the Obsessive Gamer. Right now in the chat, I have Nightwind, who used to be one of my editors as well on this show. In fact, he did edit my wacky critique of Final Fantasy 15 video along with me. And he works with me sometimes on some of this stuff as well. And he'll continue to work with me actually on this stuff in 2024. Because I don't really do this show completely alone. I do it with some people as well. I would say 90% of the stuff, yeah, is me. But sometimes I bounce ideas between certain friends. I sometimes ask them to help me with recording stuff, especially if it's outside my place. So yeah, now I'm just gonna be now I've got another question here. I'm seeing about. I'm trying to find out where it was posted. It's about. Okay, give me a moment. Just looking for it. Okay, yes. So basically, being asked about if I'm going to do any more live stream playthroughs like I used to, like with the Pokemon Gold and Silver stuff. So actually, let's actually first go over the questions you guys asked me the other day here. So, okay, so let me just switch to desktop view so you guys could see the actual questions as it should be. Okay, so zooming in. Okay, so we're going to start from the bottom of the list and just answer the questions. And then I'm going to try to answer more of your questions in the live chat as well. And, okay, so first off, let's go over the bottom one. What's my favorite cut content video I've done? So my favorite cut content video I've done is so far. Well, if it's a series we're talking about, obviously the Zelda Ocarina of Time stuff is my favorite one I've done. And that's because that was what I originally wanted to do for the longest time, actually, because I used to be involved with a community of people that used to do Zelda cut content data mining back in the early 2000s, actually, when I was just a teenager. And we used to find all this crazy stuff like an R-Wing and stuff. And eventually, when YouTube became big, I really wanted to one day make a series that just covered all this stuff. And I did it. It happened. That was, I would say, a big dream I was able to make come true at long last. I'm really happy that it happened. And that's a series I would say that was my favorite as such. Now, if we're talking about an individual video that I would say is my absolute favorite, that's actually a tough one. But I guess I would have to say it'd be my Zelda video. The Zelda video, while it's kind of history-based too in a way, it was also just one that went over everything just so damn well. Just many, many years of history that went over the mystery of Zelda, what it is, how it exists, what it could have became. Of course, some people will debate with me about my theories around it, but that's a story for another day. Now that's one question, of course, with the cut content series there. Let's move on to the next question here on why did you... Actually, let me start highlighting these questions so you guys can actually see what I'm trying to do here. Okay, being asked here, but... Whoops, I accidentally clicked their profile. Sorry, dude. Okay. Okay. Why did you start doing this? And I love your stuff, but I always wondered how the great Obsessive Gamer started. And that's a good question. Okay, so the Obsessive Gamer is actually quite old, actually, contrary to popular belief. Now, originally, this isn't even my first YouTube channel. I actually had an older YouTube channel that doesn't exist anymore. In that, I used to do actually hacks of Super Mario 64 that I used to mix with Pokemon and Pokefight it. And I was doing this with actually the popular YouTuber Tamashi Hiroka, which you guys may know nowadays as Tama Hero. Where is her channel? Yeah, there's her channel. I used to do actually work with her. This was like around the 2010 mark, and we used to actually make that Mario 64 hack. Eventually, though, we both kind of fell out of it and decided to... And I got busy with college at that time quite a bit, and she was still doing other stuff on her channel, so we never really got around to finishing her the hack that we were doing together. Of course, the channel had some semi-success, around 600 subs at that time, which was kind of good at that time on YouTube. But I digress. That channel died eventually, and I have no access to it anymore because it got hacked one day. And I got it back, but then YouTube decided to delete it because whoever hacked it decided to upload a bunch of random stuff. So it's gone. It's destroyed, unfortunately. Yeah, basically that's how I technically started. But then I still wanted to do YouTube eventually. I want to go back and just do more YouTube stuff, but not the hacking kind of stuff, but more just content, informal content, actual entertaining, well put together, edited content. And that's where we got to making the Obsessive Gamer. Originally, however, the Obsessive Gamer actually started out as a Facebook page. Yeah, this is actually the origins of the Obsessive Gamer as a Facebook page. Originally, we just made a lot of shit posts on here. A lot of shit posts. This is going all the way back to, what year is this? January 25th, 2013. Yeah, this is how early the Obsessive Gamer was, actually. And we've had a little thing on here called Gaming Problems, where we just made random little posts like this. Like, gaming problem number 1. New copies of games at ebgames/GameStop that aren't sealed, which I actually made a video on later on. Let's see, of course we got shitpost after shitpost, yearly releases of Call of Duty, and it went on for a while there actually. We kept making these little gaming problem posts here. I think this is the last one actually, where gaming problem number 34, realistic graphics equal brown and gray. That was an interesting era we were living in, actually. Of course, the Facebook page at this point is somewhat dead. Oh, we actually did more. We actually went up to number 46, I think? Yeah, we did go up to number 46 before we just went to shitpost after shitpost. And then it just became pretty much just a place I posted my new videos. So yeah, basically, that's where it began. And then I went on to YouTube, where if we go back to my YouTube page here, we can actually we'll go to our oldest video here. Starting out, of course, with the Fire Emblem Awakening review back in 2013. Followed by Mutant Muds. We did a few other things here. But these things are actually re-uploads because I deleted the channel after 1 year because I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. But then I went back and I decided to re-upload all these again onto the channel. And yeah, then we decided to do this. Which, as you can see here, this one called The Problems of Ice World was actually the first episode of my informative comedy series here. And this is kind of where I kind of had some semi-success, as a Facebook page called Zelda Informer uploaded it there too. Of course, the channel didn't really see real success until we hit the Cut Content series. And that was kind of my final try, actually. And I would say the channel truly exploded once Mario's Giga Leak happened. And I did Mario 64's Luigi Leak. And that came out. And that just made the channel blow up, and I took it seriously. I just uploaded video after video after video, and we just grew and grew and grew. That being, of course, in August of 2020 when that happened. But I started doing Pokemon Cut Content first, and yeah, that was back in May of 2020. And we steadily grown as such, and now we're at 29K, which prior to that we were only around 200 subscribers. So if any of you are here from that early era, well, you guys are veterans, so thank you for supporting me since the very, very beginning. But that's a little brief history of the Obsessive Gamer. Next question. Of course, we got Shadow Trade YouTube just saying, I hope you all will have a Happy New Year's. I thank you. I see you in the chat here as well. Thank you very much. And now, here's the next question. This one was the one that triggered, I would say, going back to answering these questions. Do you plan on ever returning to the Space World 97 demo playthroughs? Now, for any of you who don't know, for a little while there, I was doing some playthroughs here. Let me just scroll. Whoops. We went into here, which I don't want to go into here. We were going through some playthroughs here of Pokemon Gold and Silver. And we did 3 videos. That was pretty good, and you guys liked it quite a bit. Now, this was at the same time that during the time I was doing my freelance work in the evening at that time. And during that time as well, it was during the heavy days of COVID. So I was at home mainly, so I had a lot of free time. So I was able to do it once a week, but then I got really busy once things started to get normal. I had to go back to the office and all that stuff. And I didn't really have time for it. And I've gotten continuous requests ever since then to go back to this. And I've wanted to do that for such a long time too. But the problem really stems back to the fact that I been trying to think about how I should return back to it, because the other problem I encountered with these was that it was hurting the algorithm actually. The YouTube algorithm is one of the worst things ever, as some of you may know. It's been painful as of late, which has contributed to one of the reasons why I've had to do a once a week output just to keep up with the algorithm. Because we used to be able to do bi-weekly and we used to be okay. Not so easy as such. So one thing I've been thinking about to do is maybe have it on Twitch and then do a super cut of it and put it on here. But Twitch is not so good these days. It's been going into a little bit of a risque territory, let's say. And I know some of you guys are not that old who watch my stuff. And I don't want to make you guys go into a site that may expose you to stuff that you shouldn't see. So I would say, do more playthroughs here anyways. So I'm thinking about how to go about that, but it's gonna return eventually in some form. In some ways. So stay tuned. It's a 2024 plan of some sort, but it is planned to return. I won't abandon it. I will plan to return to it, but I will start it over because I have now went through all the gold and silver cut content material and I know this stuff very well, so I can actually respond to this much better than I did back then. Also, I don't remember what the hell I was doing back then in that game. Oh yeah, right. Alright, so I do also want to talk about YouTube Shorts actually before we go forward, because I've actually been doing YouTube Shorts a lot lately. If we go to our Shorts catalog, okay, YouTube Shorts. I'm only doing this literally because the YouTube algorithm is demanding me to do this in order to keep the algorithm high. If some of you haven't noticed, this stuff is actually in some ways kind of cut down portions of existing older cut content videos for the most part. Just chopping it up into bite-sized pieces and putting it here. And they've had some semi-success. Yeah, because there are people who only have the tolerance to see cut content videos in short form, or content in general in short form. They don't want to see a full 15-minute, 30-minute video, and rather would only see in short form. And, well, there's clearly an audience for that, and there are people who are watching it. But, of course, it doesn't take time out of my hand because I'm just kind of chopping it up very quickly and putting it out there, and changing the aspect ratio to 9:16, which is tough in some forms because some of these things are not made at all for it. I would like to put some more original content for that, but I really have no idea of what to actually make for these that are going to be short and sweet, because I can ramble on for quite a while actually. Also, they make me no money. They make me pretty much no money, so that's why I don't put as much effort into it as I do my long form content. I will of course keep going with this, and I do like to put some type of original material if I can for it, but more to come soon for it. And long videos will always be the priority of this channel, because that's what I prefer and that's what you guys prefer, and that's where my 29,000 subscribers are, of course, fans too. Now, going back to the questions we were just looking at here, let's go to the next question. In what areas do you see your channel improving the most? Okay, so the channel, I've kind of went over what I think we should be doing for 2024 with the channel and how to improve it, but to, I guess, better specify how I think the channel could improve, I think we should vary up the content a bit more, while at the same time still providing material for what you guys like. Because obviously there's a heavy Pokemon, Zelda, and Mario audience that are following this channel, but I think I should definitely be looking into other series as well to expand the audience. So, for example, the Donkey Kong 64 video, that's another good one. Maybe we should do some of the other stuff too, like Final Fantasy VII cut content. and general stuff that are maybe more outside of cut content too, but done in a way that we can make the current members happy, but also bring in new stuff too. So everyone will still get their Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon fixes, for example, but there'll also be newer content on there too, especially since we've made our output way more now on this channel. So yeah, basically, that's basically what I think I can do to improve the channel further at the moment. And that's basically my plan for 2024. Keep up the pace of trying to do weekly, worse bi-weekly, and try to make more varied content as well. Next question. How long does planning a video take until they start getting made? Well, I've answered this earlier, but it takes about a day to do the research and write a script. Sometimes it'll take longer, maybe 2-3 days if it's a more complex topic that has ideas like everywhere. So yeah, basically that's how long it takes before I actually start editing the video. Next question. Oh, this is not a question, but a statement. So far, everything's perfect. Keep up the amazing content, brother. Well, thank you. And now here's the final question that was asked for me earlier before I try to answer some of the chat's questions here. For your 140 cut and altered Pokemon video, you had a lot of cool artwork. What was the process for finding an artist and getting those commissioned? Good question. So not just limited to that, but also to do my Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire video that I did recently, especially, which let's just pull up some of these videos here. Let's pull up this one actually here. So this is the Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire video right here, which has some original art going forward actually. Let me put it on play so you guys can see it as well. Okay, so we've had a lot of original art in this one actually, and at the same time we did it as well. So, but for the ones for the Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald video, I had to commission these from someone actually I had to find. And to find that, I actually had to go on the website Fiverr, which some of you might know. I don't paying a decent chunk to the artists, which the artists I have actually here. Let me just actually try to find them. It's, yeah, Pato Furman over here, which let me actually have you guys see it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Pato Furman, who basically made the art that is here for this. And there was a lot of art I actually commissioned, and he did it very quickly, very well, to the style of Sugimori that he tried to replicate for this video. So this ended up being my most expensive video as such, actually, on the channel. So that's the thing. I actually had to go to someone to commission these ideas, for this video actually. Now this isn't always the case. I don't always commission people for finding original art for Pokemon actually. Sometimes I do actually just Google exists to see if someone has actually made the art actually. For example, if we go closer to the end of the video, we have actually art of this Rayquaza here. This isn't made by Pato Furman here, as it existed already and I found it via YouTube by the artist Racy Beep, which she drew it. I credited her, of course, as well. And this is the artist's art that I actually found as well for using for the Pokemon Gold and Silver cut content video as well. So that's the thing. It's a combination, I would say, of finding art on Google someone did and crediting them, of course. And for ones I can't find, I have to commission them, of course. So that's basically the gist of it here. And I will, of course, always credit artists, because artists have to be credited, because otherwise that's scummy. I also won't use, I refuse to use AI to do any of this stuff. Okay, next. Okay, I think that was the last question for those. So I'm going to answer some of your questions now here. Okay, so I saw a few questions here. I'm just going to scroll up and see what I can answer actually. Okay, from Shadow Trade YT here, I'm seeing one question I hope you can answer is if you play any of the Switch Pokemon games, which I do. I am currently playing Pokemon Violet actually. I just started like last week. I was kind of burnt out on Pokemon, and I decided to, and I finally felt the energy to actually go and play it. Of course, one of the reasons was because I wanted to wait for kind of the bugs to be ironed out, which they're better from what I've seen, just still a buggy mess in many ways, but it's playable. I'm enjoying it actually quite a bit. Actually, I'm actually surprised how much I'm enjoying the game. I feel it's a game that could have used one more year in the oven though to just iron out its bugs, but I think this is probably so far a good step forward for after I would say just many missteps they've done since for the last 2-3 generations of Pokemon. So yeah, I plan to actually do a video regarding it as well, an informative comedy video by the way, and eventually a cut content video too, so wait for that. Okay, let me just keep scrolling down. Actually, let me just open up the chat that is over here if I can, and let's go in desktop view so I can see somebody's chat. Hey, look at this. You guys are actually on screen. All right, let me see. Let me actually go down the list, seeing here. What do I see that I can ask you guys? All right, I like this comment. Daleks do not care for content. And that's why Daleks have to be exterminated. To Doctor Who fans who get that question, that thing over there. Okay. Okay, now Nightwind, of course, is saying, I can't wait to see more, but with other companies, not just Nintendo. And you're right, and I do want to do more, as I stated. Final Fantasy, Metal Gear cut content is something I really want to tackle eventually, for example. Now, just moving down, let me just see if there's any other questions I could answer. Do you see a series where you play the game? Well, do you see a series where you play the game? Oh, I guess this is more for the idea of if I am going to stream another series. Well, yeah, I can see that happening eventually, but I have to become more of a consistent streamer for that. And I'm still trying to figure out how I would even do that. I would need to dedicate, of course, maybe a week of time for that, which is still something I'm trying to build towards, but at first I'm trying to, I would say, more organize my time with the Obsessive Gamer series in general before I try to add in live streaming to it. One thing at a time, otherwise we're going to crash hard, and I don't want to do that for you two guys at all. But yeah, let's keep going down here. I already answered this one. This channel's content is very special to me. Why, thank you. I get these comments sometimes from people on how much they like this channel. In fact, I got one yesterday saying how it was very helpful to them very recently, and that was just very nice to hear. I like how my video can sometimes be therapeutic to people even. I don't know how, considering my wacky voice and stuff, but I'm glad you guys enjoy my stuff that much. Let's see. Let me see here. I'm just thinking of seeing, let's see, cut content videos I love making. Can't believe, yeah, I'm just, let's see, I respect opinion. I just don't, but if you like them, doesn't matter. Oh yeah, right, so here's a statement. Your last video reminded me a lot of early AVGN video. Was he a big influence for the series? Yes, yes he was. It's no joke, it was. Of course, the informative comedy series was, like a lot of people who actually do that kind of stuff, like whether it be Scott DeWaz, Radical Soda, and stuff, it had some AVGN influence into it, no matter how you look into it. Of course, that was a video. The Castlevania ones were from 2016, so it definitely was heavier on the influence of AVGN. My more recent one, which would be should Zelda Ocarina of Time receive, how Zelda Ocarina of Time remake should look. Well, that one I would say is less AVGN, more I would say my style in the end. But of course, I'm sure the influence is still there to an extent. Yeah, so that's basically how it kind of goes there. Okay, thanks for all your hard work this year, and I thank you for watching, guys. I thank you so much. All right, let's see here. I'm looking forward to the channel's future, and I look forward to it as well. All right, let's see. Maybe Deltarune cut content next year too. I don't know what Deltarune is, but I can look into it and see what it is. Now, one thing I gotta mention, one of the ways I decide on how I do a series is also based somewhat on if I can get an audience out of it. If it's too niche, it can be a little hard to justify doing it. as I grow bigger as a YouTuber, I can justify bringing in more niche content because I have a more dedicated audience who will watch stuff too. It's one of the reasons why I have fallen back so much on Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Smash Brothers, stuff like that. Because there's a huge audience for that always. But as I grow, I do plan to expand to both grow an audience and because I can actually have a dedicated audience to watch some of that stuff. It's one of the reasons why we brought the Castlevania stuff, because there is more of a dedicated audience now to watch that stuff. Alright, let's see what else is here. I'm really liking the Castlevania recent content, even if I'm not being a person that played a lot of Castlevania. Well, I'm glad you do, and this is what I mean. There's a dedicated fan base of people who watch the Obsessive Gamer who are into watching a lot of this material as such. So, yeah, that's how it is. We could do a Crash Bandicoot cut content. Oh, that's actually interesting. If yeah, considering I do want to try to do more of the PlayStation side of things too, with like Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, Crash Bandicoot isn't a bad one actually to try to tackle. A good idea for that. Toby Fox, the developer, yes, I knew this one about Toby Fox, the developer, working on Scarlet and Violet, actually. Okay. All right. So right now, I'm just seeing if now we're running out of questions here. Does anyone else have any more questions here before we start to wrap up? That's what I want to ask here. I'm just scrolling down here. Okay. Yeah. Well, apparently there's a lot of cut content in the series of Crash Bandicoot from what I'm seeing in the chat here. But I think we're gonna slowly start wrapping up this video here as we are going for quite a while. But right now, what we got planned for the next quarter before we wrap this video, I've got a Pokemon Snap video coming out next. Afterwards, we got the beta designs of Zelda Wind Waker. Then I have Mario Sunshine cut content planned as well. And as well, we've got a Scarlet and Violet Pokemon related informative comedy video coming. In February, I am going to keep going on with more Wind Waker cut content as well, but also some other things too. Oh right, I forgot to say, the Donkey Kong cut content video is also January. But in February as well, yes, we'll be continuing on with some other series. Yeah, more of the Wind Waker one there. We're going to continue with the Sunshine cut content as well. Yes, these are both series that are going to be more ongoing. But as well, we have I do also want to try to do a Catherine main informative comedy video as well. Both a remaster of the old one, but also on full body for Valentine's Day. Because that one's actually a fun one I did back then, and I like to do a follow-up to that as well. But basically that's as far as I've planned right now. But as I keep always planning stuff about a month and a half or to 2 months ahead, and I just keep and depending on how the algorithm and stuff is, I change things around, add things here and there, and this will keep going on. Basically, more cut content coming, more informative comedy coming. If I can figure it out, I'm going to have the first new idea for gaming history coming out, which I have kind of a serious idea planned to cover the history of gaming, so stay tuned for that. But that's basically the first quarter right now that I have planned. More plans to come, and more for 2024 as we go forward. Now again, one more question here that I'm seeing actually. I'm just going to answer these questions before we truly wrap the video. Okay, so have you played Tears of the Kingdom? I have played it to an extent. I haven't actually finished it yet, and that's because I actually did a master mode run of Breath of the Wild literally right before the game released, and I got so burnt out that when I played Tears of the Kingdom, I just was too burnt out. So I put it aside after a while and did Final Fantasy 16 instead. I'm planning to return Tears of the Kingdom eventually, and I'll plan to make some videos eventually to that too, actually. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. Are you planning to do more non-Nintendo videos? Which, as I answered before, yes, I plan to do actually, like Final Fantasy VII cut content, Metal Gear cut content. The good idea that I got today for like Crash Bandicoot cut content, even stuff I plan to do in between all the Nintendo ones as well, as such. let's see, say another Giga Leak happens, and we get more information on the development of Mario 64. Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and other games. What are you covering first? Mario 64 would get priority. Those videos do stupidly well on this channel. I mean, stupidly well. Not one Mario 64 video has done bad on this channel. If I want an algorithm boost, I release a Mario 64 video, and it just does well. It just does well. It just runs with the algorithm and just revives it. Okay, next question here being... I'm just seeing here. Okay, how about doing videos on more unreleased games? I actually plan to do some, actually. For what I've had one plan actually for that unreleased Castlevania game for Dreamcast I've wanted to do for a while there. Of course, I want to do that one for a while. I have just been very kind of hesitant because of the algorithm there. But I plan to do more things as well regarding that. I kind of want to do one on Sonic Extreme, actually, as well as some more Sonic cut content videos, actually. Sonic Adventure is actually a game I actually want to do cut content as well within the first quarter as well. I forgot to mention. So, next question here. Okay, let's see. Scarlet and Violet glitch in the informative comedy will definitely take place. Yes, it will. Have you thought about doing deep dive videos on consoles and hardware? I mean, I have to an extent already. Like, we did it on the 64 disk drive, for example. The PlayStation, the Nintendo PlayStation. But existing ones... Yeah, I would like to. Those would definitely be a huge research piece and probably part of more of a gaming history kind of thing. So we'll return to that as I plan to do that. So stay tuned for that. I plan to do that to an extent in the future. All right. Okay, so here's another one. Here's one from Nightwind. How about a Mario spin-off video? I.e. Mario's Missing, Mario's Time Machine. If I was going to do those one specifically, it'd be an informative comedy. Those are too funny not to do. But Mario spin-offs, I technically did the Wah Peach video, which was Mario Tennis, I guess. It didn't do that well because I was a week late on that, I guess. So yeah, I guess I did that to an extent. But yeah, we can do more of those. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap the video here. Yes, so we're going to wrap the video here. We're going to cut questions here. But altogether, everyone, 2023 was a good, strong year of a big revival, I would say, for what we're doing here. The biggest push we've had in a while. And 2024, I plan to make it much bigger. And hopefully we can hit huge numbers, make ourselves a much bigger channel as well to go with it. So as always, everyone, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for everything you've done, the likes, the comments, just talking back and forth with me all the time. I love talking to you guys so much. I love you guys. You guys have done me so well. And I plan to always provide you guys with good content. So everyone, have a happy New Year's, and I'll see you guys in 2024.